My name is Zainab, and I am the director here at Zoam Stores. So thank you all so much for joining. We've got 30 minutes, so I'd like to just dive straight into it. And, if there are questions at the end of it all, then, or if we have more time, we can discuss questions and anything else that comes along. So today we're looking at stepping into retail. And I'm hoping that by the end of today that I would have done my best to introduce you to what African food retail is all about. A brief guide into how you can start your own food business, just explore some of the pros and cons in the African food business, and hopefully reassure you that you are in the right place in terms of what you can learn and how you can get things moving. So looking at our own journey, so we started this whole food business about in 2010, accidentally, actually. I remember talking to someone whilst also dialing Nigeria, and the person on the phone heard some conversations around some of the investment. So to cover the up, I just said, oh, we're looking for some land for farming. And the person said they had some acres that were available, so I couldn't back out of it. So we went ahead, bought the land, and the rest is history. So we decided to have some sort of settlement, house people, and empower people as well to contribute to their own family as well as the Nigerian economy. And over time, we moved into shipping some of those products here into the UK, doing a wholesale, and then eventually went into groceries. Like, why not sell this food directly to our people? So as on stores, we're very, very passionate about quality. We're committed to our customers and partners alike, and we try as much as possible to give back to the community, which is one of the reasons why we're having this seminar. So why does the African food retail sector matter? I mean, I think from my perspective, I'm a bit lazy when it comes to exercise. And I consider our food to be our medicine as well. So I'm very passionate in particular about what I eat. And some time ago, I had the opportunity of bringing some of the produce in through a family member. And I realized that the taste and the aroma from the bean flour that we produce in Nigeria was actually totally different to what I'm used to buying here. And we also happened to store that bean flour in the fridge for almost a year, and with no preservative or anything. There were no weevils. It was really, really good. And so that got me questioning some of the produce that we get. And we started the research into the retail sector here. But what I couldn't understand, what I couldn't comprehend then was how the food we get here, and some of them are so cheap in terms of, if you think about the logistics, bringing them here, the bagging and everything. So, started exploring how people actually made profits and how it all made sense for them. And obviously with time, I got to know some of those. But from a business perspective, according to the Office of National Statistics, we have an increase in the ethnic population in the UK. So from 2001 till 2021, which is about 20 years, you can see that the population has more than doubled, in fact, tripled, which means that more people are interested in our food because that's what they're used to. They've come from home. And also we've got this cultural diversity that in terms of culinary as well, where people are now trying our food out. So sometimes we have even the Asian population buying fufu, and they ask me how they can freeze it. I'm like, I've never frozen fufu, but it takes a while for it to spoil. So people are actually very, very interested in our food. They try egusi, so many of our delicacies, which is interesting. So that also means that people are more than willing to spend on African food in particular. And according to the Horizon Grand View research, so we are looking to something about maybe 5.2 trillion in 2028. So there is an opportunity for people to actually, from business, cash in on this growing demand. But whilst it's a good potential for growth, for a business opportunity, it's also important to share the fact that it can be a bit of a journey. And so whilst I really want a lot of Africans to own our food so that we can educate the upcoming and also know exactly what it is that we're putting in our body, it's important also to know that there are some sacrifices that needs to be that goes into a successful retail or even food business. So what are the things that we've found so far? There are pros and cons, as you can imagine. So there's a steady demand, increase in population, people trying different food. And personally, there's a personal, kind of cultural pride when people come into the store. They want to, they ask questions. What goes into this? Some people are actually disappointed that I haven't tried everything in the store. I don't know how it's how that is possible, but they really want to get your opinion before they make a purchase. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Oh, you should have tried it. Okay, when you try it, just let me know. So we get situations like that, and from a business point of view as well, you have the independence that you're building something, hopefully a legacy. And as the growth in terms of population, I think there's also a potential growth in the food retail business. Now that those are all the pros, which are great. There are more, but on the con side, there's high competition. It's a very low kind of start, so you don't need a lot of money to start the business. So you've got a lot of people trying it out, so there's high competition, especially in some of our major cities in the UK. And it's also takes time, so it requires long hours. So our store is a 9 to 9, just 12 hours. We've got some stores doing 8 to 8. We currently are open 7 days a week. Some stores open 6 days a week, but I've got friends that started 9 to 9 and now they're doing 9 to 7. So with time, you obviously get to understand your peak periods and what your customers in the area are like in terms of their timing. And so you can tailor your hours, your business, your operating hours to meet those. But please do expect long hours. And sometimes that you close your door doesn't mean that you're done. It could be that you have to take time to clean, to stock up the shelves, also depending on your the manpower. So you've got that. And some of the cons also include supply issues. And supply issues can range from knowing where to go to the quality of the supplies that they come to you, that you get. And most of this is also impacted by the tight margins. So the margin sometimes on a particular SKU could be about 5 to 35%, depending on the area that you're in. If it's a very, very tight competition, you probably might not achieve 35%. But remember that within your 5 to 25 or 35% is where you have to consider your operation cost as well, your licensing and lease and everything else that comes into it. But there's so many people doing it. There's success in it. So the fact that there are cons doesn't mean that it's not a viable business. It is, but just understanding some of the cons will help you prepare better, and hopefully avoid some of the mistakes that we made. So in starting your journey, it's important to get the foundations right. So that's some of our products there, and that's my hand trying to make a moi moi. So it's important that you get your foundations right. So from your business registration and structure to your food hygiene certificate, understanding your health and safety regulations and requirements, insurance and licensing. So we do alcohol. It means that somebody has to be, you have to be licensed, and you have to have people that are registered, that have the permit as well, to handle alcohol in your organization. For you to do that, you also need to be very careful who you buy alcohol from as well. So there are, insurance and just basic requirements from the government and your council. You need to register with the council and stuff like that. Location is key, especially if you want to get into the store-owned side of retail. I mean, you can easily do it online, so you don't have to think about a store, or if you just sell from home. But once you start thinking about having a physical store, then location becomes very, very important, and also your lease and the agreements that's in place. Most landlords now just give you a list that you have to maintain, so you don't call them for blocked pipes and stuff like that. So you really need to be very mindful of that. The startup cost, like I said, is not that great. If you can always start small. You don't have to start big. But if you're exploring the big side of things, then it's easy to get into the 500K margin. So those are some of the elements of foundation. There is more, but hopefully this gives you a quick high level view. Also, you need to make sure that your supply chain is crisp, because that's what determines quality and whether people will come back into your store. So it's important that you have reliable suppliers, both local and international. Ghana, Nigeria, just name it, wherever your goods are coming from. If you're sourcing, international, that's important. And if it's local as well, you need to make sure that you partner with people in the UK that delivers quality. Just a few weeks ago, one of my customers, an Asian guy, came to me and he wanted me to give him a receipt for yam flour, I think Gary. And I'm like, why don't you get that receipt from the person that supplied it to you? Anyway, he said something which didn't make sense to me, so I can't even recall it. But what had happened was that the health and safety officials had gone into his store and it taped the Gary and pound and yam flour. They'd taken some samples away for test. Long story short, he was taken to court. I don't know exactly what happened after that, but it's very, very, very important because, again, what's in the food that you're supplying people. I know that our people want cheap, but you have to really define exactly what you want to stand for. It might not be as cheap as the others, but you know that you can eat it yourself and it's good quality. So it's important that you get that in line. Also look at your storage, even if you're going to be selling from home. Make sure you have the right storage space for it, and no infestation and stuff like that. You can easily clean under your storage. So some of those considerations there. If you want to sell butchers, you want to do butchers like we do, or frozen vegetables, you need to look at your cold chain as well. And similar to the points that I raised earlier, so you need to avoid fake products or poor quality imports as well. And I keep stressing this, health and safety. It's very, very important, especially for fish and meats as well. So you need to know where your products are coming from. Obviously, there can't be success without a customer. And when it comes to customer, you will meet diverse customers as well. Like it's very interesting. But you need to adopt some sort of a first customer approach. So just think about yourself on a very bad day when you went to a store and things just didn't go according to plan. How you reacted, or how you treated the store owner. just think about that, and a good day when you go in and everything is fine. Yeah. So, or even some of your friends experiencing in shopping as well in African or Asian market. Getting to know your customer is key, and just taking time to learn them, to learn their behavior and how to respond to them. You'd find is also important. Some people would kind of go easy with time. Some people would just never trust whatever you say, but it takes time. So make sure that you've got that time on your side. It's a business that you go into with the view to learning and improving as you go along, but it's not something that you go into and expect to get everything going in even 3 to 6 months. It takes time. And the most important thing also is to stay humble and be friendly. There's so many people in the UK that sometimes, I think also because of the design of our store, they come in and it's like that's where they get some sort of a breather. So it becomes a place where they share, where they want to learn more, ask questions. You can have questions ranging from immigration to work. Somebody actually brought their Apple laptop to me to see if I could fix it for them, if I could help them, and that's because they saw that I use Apple as well. So you get different customers coming. So it's important. They're not just going to talk to you about food, but just take your time to know them. And if you're good, they'll bring other customers to you. They introduce their friends and family to you. So it's important that you take that into consideration as well. Something nobody told me, and I thought it was important to share on this call, was the importance of faith and spirituality. So when we went into farming, it's just farm. You build, you plant, you harvest, animal dies. Sometimes we get people steal our cows and get the police involved. That's normal. When it comes to the imports, bringing goods into the UK, it's so very easy to lose 20, 40 grand on a container, especially when you bring in contraband. And there's so many contraband items, which also I was learning as I went along. I think there was a time I bought in Joy soap, and I found that it was a contraband. I didn't even know. So just Joy soap, right? And when they get into your container, they're going to take goods. They would you pay for storage for taking when they take those goods. You pay for them to go into your container. You pay for the storage. You pay for them disposing of the goods. So it can be a bit crazy. And that way you just learn, you trust God, you learn to know what the right thing is and all that. But when it comes to the actual physical outlets, it becomes a different thing. There was a gentleman that brought fish in, wanted to sell to me, called me my personal line, and I told him to come into it. He was speaking our languages, Yoruba and all that stuff. So I thought, bring it in and try to support as much as possible. And when he came in, I asked questions about how he got my number. He said a friend gave it to him. He gave me the number. It wasn't complete. I told him to call the number. The number was ringing. When he gave me the number wasn't ringing. I'm like, what's going on? And then I could see him physically shaking. And I had to send him away with the fish to say no. So you have to have a discerning spirit. And there's so many other things as well that you just have to be very, very close to God. And there are times that I was questioning why the food retail, why food business. And then I started to understand the importance of food in almost every activity in life. So celebration, there is food. Apple, Adam bit, and what happened to the whole world. But if you're doing retail, it's important. I can't really go into all of the details of some of the things that I've experienced and some of the things that people have told me and that they've experienced in the food business. And I'm not trying to scare anyone, but these are things that people will probably not talk about. Nobody talked to me about this. And I remember a friend actually sharing the fact that he went into one shop, one Asian shop, and then he saw them doing whatever very, very early in the morning. And that when he was struggling as well, he had to go into a shop and prayed and all that stuff. But that was about it when I started, because I did try to do some sort of apprenticeship with some friends who had a similar business to see how it works and how it operated. But nothing could have prepared me for how close to God you have to be when you do food retail business. It's either you're close to God or you're close to something else, but I just stay with my God. So I thought I'll share that with you as well. But again, feel free to reach out after this meeting if you have any questions about this particular area. So conscious of time, I know we've got 30 minutes. Just to summarize everything is that if you want to go into the food retail business or any aspect of food business, it's important that you do your due diligence. I'm not sure we'll get it right every time because things change. Certain products, like I believe it's palm oil that you can't bring it from Ghana, but you can bring from Nigeria. Beans you can't bring from Nigeria, you can bring from Ghana. So they're different things. So you have to do your due diligence so you don't lose money. It's so easy to lose up to 20 to 100 grand on a particular import from Africa. So it's very, very important that you do your due diligence. And as you know, our customers want to be able to buy cheap. So we should also try and get our offers right. My advice would be for you to partner with other people or organizations, but be careful with the kind of partnership that you go into as well. I've had some of our people that you give goods to and still not pay. I've had Asians that you give goods to and they paid, but not in full. And that, so it goes vice versa. It's not an African thing alone. It's like the business union. And there are people that when friends hear that, oh, you're about to supply someone, like that group, don't go there. If you go there, that's it. That just you might as well just wave bye-bye to your money when you supply them. So it's important that you partner with the right people and learn from others. Now, not everybody is willing to share. Again, I don't blame them. And I'm not promising that I'm going to have time to share everything or partner with everybody, but it's important that you look for like-minded individuals, good people that you can reach out to that you can learn from them so you don't make the same mistake. Food business mistake can be very, very expensive, trust me. And you also need to be very, very clear on your strategy, your goals, and your values. So I've tried my best to rush through that so that we can give time for questions. So if you want to discuss partnership opportunities, you can email sales at Zoam Stores. And if you have, you're still considering thinking about what exactly it is that you want to do, but would like to buy good quality products, feel free to join our Zoam community. It's on WhatsApp. And we recently actually posted some combo deals that we hope people would take advantage of and put some change in their pocket while buying quality. So feel free to join. You can drop your number in the chat, and one of our team members will reach out to you. So I believe we're probably like, okay, at 22 minutes in. So we've got 8 minutes left. If you have any questions, now would be the time. Thank you all for joining and for listening.